everybody, I'm Survivalpunk, and this is my second video on my Smite strategy videos. This is Ymir, Destroyer of Worlds! Joking, sorry. Well, let's jump right to it then. First of all, we're gonna go ahead and just jump to abilities. And we're gonna just go do a rundown of the abilities that he has. His passive is Frostbite. All of Ymir's abilities that affect enemies apply a debuff to the enemy called Frostbite. All of Ymir's basic melee strikes against a target afflicted by Frostbite do 100% more damage, which is a large portion to why Ymir is such a powerhouse. You ever fight against a Ymir and think to yourself, hey, this is a Guardian. Why is he doing so much damage? Well, this is why. This is the thing that makes Ymir such a powerhouse in the game, which is why he's a favorite of mine. He's a favorite of many people. Not my favorite to play, but one of them. Anyways, moving on to his other abilities, we got Ice Wall. Ymir summons a wall of ice out of the ground that blocks player movement. All upgrading it does is affect the amount of time that the wall stays up, but you can see how that's useful. You see, Ymir has one of the largest crowd controls in the game. If you were to, basically from a scale of 1 to 10, he's at least an 8 or a 9 in terms of crowd control. It is hard to escape a Ymir if he gets you in his grasp. You gotta be on your A game when going up against the Ymir, as he can do decent damage, and he can easily set up a kill if he can't get the kill himself. This is partially why, right there, is Ice Wall. Next ability is Glacial Strike. Ymir smashes his club, doing damage to all enemies in front of him, and slowing them, applies Frostbite. It does a very good amount of damage. It does a 35% slow for 4 seconds duration, which is amazing. Is it a very amazing ability? That being said, something I've come to learn is you gotta remember when it comes to Glacial Strike, when you're playing Ymir, when you use Glacial Strike, there's a slight delay before the actual damage initiates. Because what happens is he strikes the ground, the ice shreds across the ground, and then the icicles come up. It doesn't deal any damage until the icicles come up. So it's actually very easy to evade. So you want to make sure there's an ice wall up, or you use the next ability over, which is Frost Breath, before using Glacial Strike. Frost Breath, what that does is it's a cone in front of him, and the farther you are away from him, the cone kind of spreads, because it's a cone. That's how cones work. And so the farther the person is away from you, makes it easier for you to use it. What it does is Ymir uses his breath to freeze enemies in blocks of ice, doing damage and stunning them. Applies Frostbite. Again, does a pretty good amount of damage. And at full upgrade, does 2.25 seconds of stun. It literally freezes you in place. And also, his abilities have a pretty decent cooldown if you actually look at them. And finally, his ultimate, which is a large area of effect ability called Shards of Ice. Ymir begins to freeze the air around him, causing shards of ice to grow on his back and slowing enemies. After 3 seconds, Channel Ymir erupts out of his frozen state, causing shards of ice to do damage to all enemies in range. It applies Frostbite, of course. Canceling the ability decreases the damage. So you could cancel it early for that quick damage if you want to kill someone before they escape, but otherwise you want to generally wait. If you can help it, generally wait. And it is an amazing ability, to say the least. It's partially why Ymir gets a lot of kills. Again, you can see where the build kind of just creates itself for glory. Because when someone's trying to evade you, like someone's trying to run away from you when they know you're gonna get them, it's almost too late. It's very few gods are basically a sure thing to get away. If you're not certain gods like Arachne or Sun Wukong, whose ultimate abilities can basically guarantee an escape, they can't escape. Well, unless you're very skilled, because a very skilled player could try and escape Ymir. Especially when you have very fast movement speed, because they're, you know, you could basically move faster than he could build up the wall. That would be very beneficial for you. But the point is, what Ymir will do is he'll Frost Breath you, Glacial Strike. He'll hit you a few times. You're running away, but you're slowed from Glacial Strike, so he's going to hit you a few more times. If you make a good distance from him, he'll Ice Wall again. Frost Breath, and then it repeats. If he can throw in a shard, if he can throw up an Ice Wall, Frost Breath, Shards of Ice, and guarantee a kill, he will. Because he can easily do that. Ymir ain't no joke. Father of the Frost Giants for a reason. So we're going to switch over to items. And the first item you're going to get is your starter item, which is Watcher's Gift. Costs you only 800 points. 800 gold, I mean. I already mentioned this in the 8th video, but as a refresher, plus 100 health, being within range of 60 of a minion death without dealing the killing blow rewards a 4 bonus gold and also restores 10 health and 5 mana. So it keeps you on the field longer, plus gives you gold, a little bit of extra gold for making it easier to get to the other items on your list. Second item on the list is Hide of the Urchin. Personal favorite of mine. I use it for almost any warrior I play. Anytime I'm playing any character that's better off tanky or can be played tanky, I will give them Hide of the Urchin. So it basically any guardian almost and any warrior. What Hide of the Urchin does is plus 45 physical protection, plus 45 magical protection, plus 250 health, plus 250 mana. And your passive is you gain plus 2 magical protection and plus 2 physical protection for each god kill or assist. Max access 10. So there's the reason you want to get it really early, is because it gives you a really good bonus to 4 different things, and then its bonus raises go through over time to a plus 20, meaning plus 65 to both defenses. A must-have for any character you're trying to build tanky. That is the first item I would suggest. The next item I would suggest is the Void Stone, which is plus 40 magical power, plus 50 magical protection, and reduces the magical protection of enemies within 55 units by 15. So it gives you a little bit of extra stab. So Void Stone is a must-have for when you're trying to get that extra damage in. It helps, and plus it helps your protection keep boosting up. So we're gonna put those two on right now. So you see at this point his defenses are 134, 143, which are both pretty good numbers, and they're even with each other, which is very, very good for the long run. The next item doesn't have to be in this order, by the way. I will remind you. At this point on, you can kind of rearrange the order any way you want. But the next few items are Rada Tahiti for that extra damage, because what Rada Tahiti does, 125 the magical power, plus 15 the magic per second, which is really good, allows you to use your abilities more. Its passive increases magical power by 25%. See how it's 40? Now it's 206. The span of one item, we just more than tripled our magical damage, which is very nice. The next item on our list is Stone of Gaia, which if you want can come first in Rada Tahiti, but it doesn't matter, you do it in any order you want. But what Stone of Gaia does is plus 100 health, plus 70 magical protection, plus 25 HP per second, and then plus 10 magic per second. So your health is pretty beastin' right now. You're fairly tanky, you're a fairly balanced tank. You have 2,940 health, and you have 25% HP per second, which is pretty good. Not to mention your magic per second is, no, sorry, wrong item. 15 plus 10 is 25, so both your HP and magic per second is 25, which is really good because you're really hard to kill to begin with. If they would literally have to go gun hole, balls ablazing, just go straight for you. The whole team would have to work to kill you. You are a challenge, a definite challenge at this point, because if they do not ensure that you die, if they don't pick you off, then you're just gonna get away, heal very quickly, and then come back. And I'm not talking very quickly from near death, I'm just saying you'll get back to a position where you can come back into the fight fairly easily. without having to go back to base as often as you normally would. Next item on our list is Breastplate of Valor, plus 550 mana, plus 75 physical protection, plus 25% cooldown reduction. Now, there you go. Remember how I mentioned his abilities are pretty low cooldowns? Yeah, that is not cool. At max level, 70 seconds basically becomes, I think, about 45, 50 seconds, something around those lines. I'm not actually doing the math here. Cooldown is 18 seconds. Cooldown here is 8 seconds. Cooldown here is 14 seconds. You'll be getting these back almost instantaneously. That's insane. So you're basically also back to the passive. They're constantly thanks to these two abilities, gonna have frostbite on them because they come back so fast, allowing you to deal 100% frostbite damage bonus, allowing you to get that extra damage in because of your ability, which helps immensely. Again, why Ymir is such a powerhouse. I didn't call him Destroyer of Worlds in the beginning for no reason. Next item is Ethereal Staff, which is going to give him plus 30 magical power, plus 600 health, and plus 300 mana. Plus 2% of your maximum health is converted to magical power. So we're going to skip over to our last item, which is Rod of Pilot, which is 75 magical power, 200 health, and an 10% movement speed, which is the optional item for Ethereal Staff, which is, you know, a little less damage, I believe. Let's look at that again. Yeah, it's a little less damage, but it's for more HP, I believe. No, it's not for more HP. Why did I even have... Oh, the healing and health regeneration of allies. Oh, yeah, okay. I forgot about the ability. I am sorry. What was I thinking? Basically, the reason I put this here is because it allows you to be a little more helpful to your team. Gives you that chance to basically bump up your team because of its aura, which is a very useful aura. You know, and that being said, it helps keep you very tanky because of health. So you have, in the end of it, you have 209 and then 213 on both your protections, which is very good. Add 20 to each because of Height of the Urchin. This is not taking an effect until it's stacked with Height of the Urchin. So 229 and then 233, which is very good. Very good mixed tank plus a massive HP. And I would again suggest the Ethereal Staff, which will give you a little more HP, but a little less helpful to the group, a little less healing, whatever. But more mana and then more damage, making you not only a very beasting mixed tank, but you're dealing massive damage. You're dealing unexpected damage. You are securing kills. You are doing more than should be expected from a Guardian. Because you look at Ymir and you think he's just going to be a support tank. But he can be so much more. Which is what throws a lot of people off guard. The last items for this set would be Girdle of Support, Greater Meditation, Wrath of the Gods, or Combat Link as your options for active. Girdle of Support is one of my favorite items to use because it gives you a physical / magical protection, sorry, not protection, I meant to say damage of 20% for 10 seconds to you and your allies, which is a very good push item. If you're in Joust and you're trying to push for a tower, this can allow you to do that because you're suddenly doing so much more damage, the three of you working together as a team, allowing you to push further, allowing you to get to the point you need to be for the victory. Greater Meditation is another favorite item of mine. Using this item restores 75% of your maximum mana and grants 45 magic power per second, magic per second, for 60 seconds, not magic power, sorry. Additionally, you are healed for 30% of your missing health. Cooldown is 120 seconds. Very good item. Gives you a slight heal, a slight stab heal, helping you keep in the battle longer. And, oh, you're almost out of mana? You think you're gonna get away? Pop! Ice Wall. Yeah, that would be very annoying. Wrath of the Gods, just because it's a good lane item, You can use that whenever you get the chance, save up your mana instead of using, what is it called again? I'll already bring for today. Glacial Strike. I knew it was Glacial Strike. I just really say it, but I didn't know it wrong. Using this item deals 480 damage in a 15-unit radius to maximum of 3 enemy minions of jungle monsters. Or jungle monsters. Objectives and pets are always hit. This will automatically kill the Fire Giant or Gold Fury if they are at or below 25% of health. Cooldown is 60 seconds. And Combat Blink, which is using this item, will allow you to teleport short distances instantly, even when in combat. The Blink items are really good for escapes. So, you know, he doesn't really need it, but it's more for the second half of the build, which I'm going to show you in a bit. You see, very recently, I seen a video by, I believe his YouTube name is, give me one second, Zelkanon? I think that's how you pronounce it. Well, he has a YouTube video series called Smite Troll Life, or Troll Life Smite, something along those lines. And I watched a few of them. They're fairly funny. I like them. But this next half of the build was inspired by one of his videos called Ymir Assassin. And I enjoyed the video, and I was inspired to do this version of the build by him. See if I can get it to work, because it got me curious. You know, I already stated to you before, I really want to show you guys interesting builds, things that are never done before. The build I have up here, something you've probably seen before, something you probably even considered yourself in some variation, just because, you know, you see Ymir and you know he's a tank. You know where he's... You look at him, you know where his strong suit is. But again, Ymir is surprisingly damaging. So let's see where this can go. Other than Watcher's Gift at the beginning, the first item you should get, you know, again, Watcher's Gift is a starter item, so you want to drop it at some point. You don't keep it the entire way through. But what you want to want is Shoes in the Magi for that extra movement speed, and for the good stab to your damage, and a good stab to your mana. Now, Ymir is very slow, but when you do this, he's actually surprisingly fast, because again, 18% movement speed is no joke. Next item is Demonic Grip. Plus 60 magical power, plus 25% attack speed. Passive is your basic attacks. Reduce your target's magical protection by 7%. And an additional 5 points for 3 seconds max stack spree. Kind of give you some magical penetration, much like Void Stone would do. Kind of like a magical penetration item, which is really good. But mostly you want it because of the attack speed boost. Because a lot of Ymir's damage comes from his basic attacks, not his special attacks. Because you want to get, what you want to do is slow them down, stop them, get the frostbite on them, and then get some hits in. Because that's where all that damage is going to be coming from. So the attack speed, immensely useful in that factor. Next item is Rod of Tahiti. Now, 3 items in, we're already at 313 damage. We already know what Rod of Tahiti does. Next item is a personal favorite of mine. I use it on almost every build I have for a mage. It's Chrono's Pendant, which is, I don't remember if it's a new item or not. I actually haven't, I really don't remember. I think it's a new item because I don't remember using it past the patch, you know, past the all the changes that happened recently. But all I know is I saw it, I discovered it. Whether it's an old item or not, I don't care. It's a really good item. And what that does is plus 75 magical power, plus 25 magic per second, plus 25% cooldown reduction, which is really nice. So it's kind of the replacement for Breastplate of Valor. Telekinesis Ring. Magical power of 45 plus 30 magical protection, kind of giving you a little bit of protection that of what you're sacrificing, plus 10% attack speed, which is why we're up. Your basic attack hits deal 40 additional magic damage to the target, which is again really good because remember, this build, Ymir's damage comes from his basic attacks more so than his abilities, which is a little backwater in comparison to the other characters where 90% of the time you're getting kills with your abilities, which you're still getting most of your kills from your abilities with Ymir, but with the most of your damage is actually dealt by your basic attacks. Now we got 3 options. Sorry, 4. Wow, I put down a lot of options for the last item. I didn't even realize. Book of Thoth, which is plus 25 mana, plus 15 magic per second, plus 100 magical power. And its passive is permanently gain 10 mana per stack and receive 5 stacks for a god kill, 1 stack for a minion kill, max stacks of 75. Additionally, 3% of your mana is converted to magical power. Which, look at that, 633 magical power on Ymir. Wow. The other option would be Soul Reaver, which is plus 100 magical power, plus 300 mana. When a god takes damage from your abilities, they take 15% of their maximum health and additional damage. If multiple gods are hit, the damage is applied to the one with the greatest maximum health. This can only occur once every 60 seconds. Very good item. 588 magical power, so there is a magical power drop. Good item because of that 15% boost of the damage on the one god, but I would suggest Book of Thoth. Sorry, did I call it Thoth? Avatar on the mind, apparently. No, Book of Thoth is the better option in that point in my point of view. Also, it's cheaper, which is weird. Next item on the list is Ethereal Staff, plus 30 magical power, plus 600 health. Well, actually, you already know what it does. I showed you it before. 580 gives you a health boost, but again, not what I would suggest. I don't know why I would even have it twice on the list anyways, but Winged Blade, which is plus 300 health, plus 10% cooldown reduction, plus 10% attack speed, plus 10% movement speed. When hit by a slow, you are immune to slows, and your movement speed is increased by 20% for 4 seconds, only occurs once every 30 seconds. Now, the reason this is on here is what you're sacrificing is a boost to your attack, and basically a boost to your attack. Instead of that, what you're going to be getting is a boost to your movement speed and a boost to your attack speed, which is, again, bulk of your damage comes from your attack speed anyway, so that's a very good item to have. Next item on the list is Witchblade, plus 45 physical protection, plus 15% attack speed. All enemies within 55 units have their attack speed reduced by 15% and their physical power reduced by 25. This is a really good item, but I would actually suggest it more so for this build up here somewhere, as opposed to down here, honestly. Maybe that's what I had in mind before I even got this started. Hastened Fatalis. Sorry, we're not very good on the pronunciation today. Plus 30% attack speed, plus 10% movement speed. When a basic attack hits a target, the attacking movement speed debuff is removed from you for 1 second. So it's a good item, I guess, mostly because of the attack speed bonus and the movement speed bonus. Again, that's where a bulk of his damage comes from, is his attack speed. So that's why that's there. And there's Void Stone. Plus 40 magical power, plus 50 magical protection. You know what that already does. So I guess that item's there because maybe you want to be a little more tanky. But honestly, this is the build I would suggest. Max damage, movement speed's pretty good. Attack speed's pretty good. Roll with it. I did play test both builds. I always play test my builds. I've only done 2 videos so far, but I have a bunch of builds already done from me just playing Smite for so long. But that being said, when it comes to my builds, I always put in the description below what they did when I play tested them, and what matches I play tested, how many of each match, and then give you a rough estimate of their scores, which is best score, worst score, and an average. And I did it for both builds, but I only did half as much for the assassin build, just because, you know, it's not what Ymir's best suited for. Very fun to play. It did surprisingly well, but I would suggest only using the assassin build for like Joust, maybe Arena. He actually did pretty good in Arena, and other than that, most likely you'd be better off playing with friends, like as a joke or just for funsies and lulz. You know, especially since a group of friends ain't gonna bombard you with what the F's and you're a loser or a noob, which I actually got a lot of that. In hindsight, I probably should have played on a junk account with that. But that being said, it's really a fun build to play, and It did surprisingly well. It even won a conquest, which was surprising. Not single-handedly, I don't mean like that, but the conquest it was playing on, he did surprisingly well, and he actually ended up winning that match. But I am sorry, I realized halfway through all the items, I did forget to show what order I would prefer you to use. I prefer to use, sorry, when it comes to my abilities. And I'm not sure if this is best. I think I'm gonna clear it and just work with it on you, on what I think right now. Because sometimes a lot of the time I'll do something a little different just because of the situation, what I feel like doing. But here we go. Again, sorry for skipping this part, but I wasn't gonna stop halfway through items just to skip that. But let's move past it, shall we? First, I would get Glacial Strike, because it's a very good lane clear. It's very good for clearing the minions out of your way, and it gives you a slow, and it's a good stab damage to do in the beginning. So it's a very good first item on the agenda. Then I would either get Frost Breath or Ice Wall. Honestly, your choice. I guess I'll go ahead and click Frost Breath because it's going to do extra damage and it stuns the opponents. And other than that, we're going to do Ice Wall next. And we got all 3 abilities on there now. We're going to do Frost Breath again because it's one of my favorite moves on his build. It's possibly his best move in my opinion. Just a sudden stun to get a few hits in is pretty nice. And then we're gonna do Frost Breath again. I think we're gonna, just Frost Breath, sorry. And we're gonna do Glacial Strike. Have this come back. Frost Breath. Ice Wall, Glacial Strike, bam. Ice Wall, Glacial Strike. Ice Wall, Glacial, oh, flubbed it. Dang it, I'm sorry guys, so we're just gonna run through this real quick. I didn't mean to do that! Bop, bop, bop. Bop, 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 bop. Bop, bop. Oh, I did it again. Run through this really quick, sorry. Glacial Strike, Frost Breath, Ice Wall, Frost Breath, bam. There. Bop, pop. 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 There we are, we got through it guys, I'm so sorry. Oh my gosh, we actually got through it. So general order like that. Order of importance would be Glacial Strike as your first item on the agenda, Frost Breath as your second, Ice Wall as your third. And then past that, order of importance would be Frost Breath to get maxed as fast as possible. Vice versa with Glacial Strike. You want to get at least 2 or 3 points in Ice Wall as early as possible, so that it's at least staying 3 to 4 seconds up. But other than that, order of importance would be Frost Breath, because it's gonna give a pretty good amount of damage, and it's gonna stun them in place, so that you can get a few hits in. Which again, bulk of your damage is gonna be coming from your basic attacks. Glacial Strike, you still want to get pretty good because again, it's your lane clear, and you want to again. Frost Breath, hit, Frost Breath, Glacial Strike, hit, as they're running away, Ice Wall, Frost Breath again. You want to get them into that loop, that insane loop that they cannot escape, that ends up ending their lives. So we're just going to save abilities there, I guess. And that being said, I think we're pretty much done with this Ymir build. Honestly, I'm a big fan of Norse mythology, so Ymir is a pretty close-to-heart character that I like to play sometimes. Just close to heart, yeah, that's probably the first time that has ever been stated about Ymir in all of history. But he's a cool character, he's fun to play, he's very interesting. What I love about Smite is how well they embody the gods, especially with what abilities they have and how they look. And he's very well embodied in this game, which, is kind of easy to do. He's a frost giant. But I digress. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a good day. I'm signing off. Bye.